Support for Radio Friends comes from OsteoStrong. Improvements in bone density, strength, and power can be achieved by weekly 5-minute no-sweat sessions on their 4-Spectrum machines. These isometric robotic machines safely emulate high-impact loading on different parts of the skeletal system, which stimulates activity in bone-building cells. Balance and agility can be improved by 2-minute sessions on vibration plates. Every session is supervised by a trained coach. Learn more on Facebook or call to set up a complimentary wellness assessment and session. Good morning. Welcome to Radio Friends on Thursday, April the 8th. We're going to talk about something that is extremely important in our community, and not just in Columbia or Central Missouri, but really across the entire country, and that is the food bank. I want to introduce you to Seth Wolfmeyer. I believe this is the first time you've been on our program.
It is, and thank you very much for having me.
But you've been with the food bank for 2 years now.
That's right.
You are the communication and marketing manager.
That's right.
What do you do as a communication and marketing manager?
What don't I do? So anything that involves the food bank's name, our logo, anytime we're sharing a story, I'm involved. I'm involved with social media, of course, with writing the stories we have. My job is really to communicate with the public about what the food bank is doing and communicate with people who are using the food bank on how they can access our resources.
Okay, the food bank has been in the news a lot lately simply because of the number of people who are being forced to use the services of the food bank. Have you been able to meet the demand? And that's a massive demand now.
We have, and it's not just been that we're in the news, but nationally, food banks as a whole have been in the news, and our national partners, Feeding America. And, that demand has varied a lot over the past year as different things happen, as different benefits to help people come out and the like. And so we've seen surges and we've seen decreases. The largest surge is at one point in the last quarter of 2020. Our partner agencies, the food pantries that we work with and soup kitchens and the like, they saw an 11% increase year over year in people served. Central Pantry alone here in Columbia served 2,000 more people than it normally does in October. It served 12,000 people total, and on a normal month it serves 10,000.
And I think it's safe to say nobody wants to have to go to the food bank to ask for food. Nobody wants to do that. But there are times when it's simply out of your control, through no fault of your own. There is no reason to feel guilty because the situation has occurred that has thrown a loop to many, many people. You've been able to keep up with that demand?
Yes, we have.
You've been able to keep up with that demand because, and it's important to say this, because the community has come forward with helping out.
Yeah, it's been truly amazing and outstanding, the amount of community support that we've seen over the past year and continues to today, that people didn't just invest when they first heard about the crisis, when they first heard that food banks were under more strain, that they've continued to support it, that they've continued to listen to us.
And you told me you were concerned about that because you had a surge of donations at the beginning of this crisis. And the concern was that, well, people were going to giving now, but that they may not continue giving. But that's not been the problem, has it?
That is not. So normally with a lot of natural disasters, things like tornadoes or the other like that affect people donate one time because they see it in the news and they want to help. But that one time is the one time they want to give because they have other priorities in their life and whatnot. But with responding to COVID-19, it has been a sustained response, of course, over the past year and still going today. And with that, people have still been reading about the pandemic. They've been still reading about food banks and how we're reacting. And they've continued to support our mission, which has been crucial, that sustained report.
Right. And there are so many wonderful, wonderful organizations, and I mean this sincerely, wonderful organizations in our community and across the country that need our assistance. Everybody needs to eat. Everybody needs to eat. And that's at the top of the list there, putting food on the table for folks. As far as people donating, money is the best thing to give because you can buy so much more food than if someone goes to the grocery store themselves and buys a basket full of. So let's say you go to the grocery store and you buy $100 worth of groceries and you give it to the food bank and you say, "Oh, that sounds great. I gave you $100 worth of groceries. Here they are." But if you would take that same $100 and just give a check for $100 to the food bank, how many pounds of food can you buy?
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up because we've actually started using a new metric to describe how efficient we are with the donations. So it used to be pounds of food, but now we like to talk in meals because that's what people at the end of the day see. So now, for example, with $100 in a donation, that equals around, let's see here, 2,500 meals, I believe.
What?
It's.
Are you?
I might be thinking I might be getting the number wrong
Of the
here.
pound, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but the point is, you can give so much more if you just give the cash instead of the going to the grocery store and doing the shopping yourself.
Yeah, and I apologize. I've thought of the number.
That's
now.
okay.
$1 a $1 donation helps us purchase at least 4 meals. So $100 would equal around 400 meals that we can provide to people.
So, if I went to the grocery store and I bought $100 worth of groceries, maybe that'll be 6 or 7 meals, depending on what you buy.
Right.
But if I gave you $100 in cash, that's going to be about 400 meals.
That's correct.
Okay. You double it. You give $200, 800 meals.
That's right.
That's amazing. How are you able to do that?
Well, we have a national partnership with Feeding America. And then we also have a lot of local partners and corporations and other businesses that we work with on an ongoing basis to purchase food in bulk as cheaply as we can.
Okay.
That's how we're able to do that so efficiently.
Okay. Now, the other thing I want to mention is as we go into spring and summer, you don't want to discourage people from bringing in their own produce that they have grown themselves. That is okay. That's okay to do, and you'll accept that with open arms.
Yeah, we will accept donations of grown garden goods
Yeah.
Directly at the central pantry or at many of our partners. Produce is very valuable to people. We want to give people those healthy, nutritious items that they can then use in their home.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to make it so that people are food insecure and that are getting help from the food bank, that
Exactly.
we only use canned goods.
So while it's better to give cash instead of going to the grocery store and buying the food, give the cash to the food bank, they can buy a lot more. When you plant your garden, just put out a little bit extra in the garden, a little bit more than what you're going to use for yourself or your neighbors, and bring that extra to the food pantry. When I plant the garden, we've been calling it a sharing garden. I always plant more than what we're going to need, and I can bring produce down to the food bank, and it feels good to do it.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. It feels good. For more information, what's the website?
It's sharefoodbringhope.org.
Okay. Seth, thank you so much for coming by. Continued success, and tell my friend Lindsay that we said hi.
Will do. Thank you so much.
Food Bank, sharefoodbringhope.org. We're out of time for today. Please drop me an email if there's something you would like to hear or see. It's pepperp@missouri.edu. And remember, wear that mask when you go out and about today.